So hello, this is Troy with Are You Noble, teaching the noble grafted in middle position. And today we're kind of switching over to from motives and methods to motives and message. So we see that Israel's going into exile. They're going into exile because God swore by himself. They're going into exile. So this is a key point that the covenant theologian misses, honestly. Exile. They don't understand the actual covenants. They're still strangers to the covenants of God. But in the meantime, we do need to understand this idea of going into exile and into exile. And so we have a portion of the book of Amos where Amos is being really targeted. Amos is being targeted by this priest who goes to a king, Jeroboam, the worst king ever. Amos had conspired against you in the midst of the house of Israel. The land is not able to bear all his words. For thus Amos has said, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Israel must go into exile, away from his land. So we see they were basically saying, you say, do not prophesy against Israel, and do not preach against the house of Isaac. So this is the covenant theologians' marching banner. I mean, they've built their entire foundation of their entire box of theology on the idea that it's okay to prophesy against Israel. Well, this verse says it's okay to prophesy against Israel. What they don't understand is exile is temporary. And if they read Romans 11 and followed up with the two verses that Paul uses, they would understand that's not going to be forever. But what's interesting is to prophesy against Israel. Amos is saying, hey, I'm not one of your professional prophets. So the professional prophets, they say everything flowery. They love to puff up Israel. They love to make put Israel on the top shelf. But Amos is saying, hey, I'm not a professional prophet. I'm not one of those guys that get paid to sell books.